listeners! This is episode 172 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is July 3rd, 2024, and I have a terrific trio of guests today who make eBay a family affair. No announcements, so we will jump right in.
Welcome back, listeners. I have a dynamic duo or possibly a terrific trio for y'all today. We've got Melany and her mom, Kathy, and then sort of a lurker on the side. Do we want to tell your name?
My name's Cecilia.
Cecilia. Okay. And you are Melany's daughter, Kathy's granddaughter.
My other daughter's daughter.
Oh, your other daughter. Okay.
Yeah, I have another daughter. Yes.
So your granddaughter. And how old are you?
I'm 10.
7?
She's 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
Yeah.
As she's far away, I can't hear what she's saying, but that's okay. I think you get the award for being the youngest guest on my podcast. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay, so let's get started with the first question is, where are you located?
Well, I'm located, me and Cecilia are located in Jacksonville, North Carolina. So, which is about an hour from Wilmington, 2 hours from Raleigh. We're 2 hours from where Melany's
Very
living.
familiar with that
Yes.
military area.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then
Yes.
see, where are you located?
I am in Apex, North Carolina. I'm about 20 minutes from Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina.
Okay. So how far apart are you two?
We're about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But you still do eBay together?
Yes.
Yes.
But separate accounts or one account?
One account.
Okay, we're going to get into how that works. So, let's start with how you got into eBay, who got into it first, and how this whole thing developed.
Yeah, I got into eBay for my husband. He told me about eBay, and I thought he was absolutely crazy, buying stuff online. It was, rather new. And I believe it was in 1999. We were still living in Georgia, and Melanie was looking for a Furby, and we couldn't find them in the stores. It was the Furby craze. So
Right.
he happened to find it on eBay, and he ordered it from Canada. So I said, "You're sending," I know, right off the bat. I think the first order was, he had something shipped internationally to him. So it came in the mail, and, we're like, okay, this is legit. This is great. So that's kind of our first encounter with eBay. And I didn't really start selling until I started having, we'd have yard sales to just kind of purge and get rid of kids stuff or toys, clothes, everything. And I just it clicked that I thought, I can make more money on eBay selling this, instead of having a garage sale. So I plucked some things from the garage sale and they sold. And I was like, this is wonderful, stay at home mom. It was extra money that I can make, to help out. And, it just kind of grew from there. I just started getting more excited about it, just doing it in my spare time, things like that.
Okay.
That's how I got started.
And the year was, what year was it?
I think I really got into it in 2003, 2004. I'm
Okay.
not sure about the year, but our account says 2000, but I know we bought the Furby in 99 because we were still living in Georgia at the time. We weren't here in North Carolina yet. Yeah.
In Georgia.
Yeah, Douglasville. Yeah.
Okay. So that's down by the airport?
I think so. Yeah.
South.
It's been a while. We haven't been there.
Yeah, South Metro. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So let me backtrack here and ask, what moved you from Georgia to other places?
My husband was in aviation. And so we would just, wherever the jobs, they would transfer him to different states. So we've lived in Texas, Louisiana. We spent a little bit of time in Acapulco, Mexico. So
that must have been terrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a great place.
Wonderful food. So we enjoyed our time there. We did. Yeah.
Okay. So we have your backstory, and now we're going to switch over to Melany, which I have a Melany too.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So Melly, let's hear your story about how you got involved in eBay.
Yeah, I don't know if it really was very helpful with my mom in that early phase. I feel like some things we were talking and reminiscing, I was like, I think I helped you with pictures. But for me, what I started selling, mine was 2009. I was selling on my own account at the time, and I was working at GNC. And the manager, we had returns, so people would return unfinished product, and he was like, "You can take them, take them if you want them." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I started selling, returned products, hydroxycut. I
Oh,
started
okay, like the workout
yep,
supplement.
exactly, diet
Okay.
supplements.
Yeah.
So I just started selling those because I got them for nothing and just started selling those. And then when Poshmark was popular, I started that in 2013. I thought I was going to be a clothing reseller. That didn't really pan out for me. It's tedious. It's not my thing. But I was looking and I made $2,900 off that platform, doing it not a whole lot. And then,
That's in like a year
oh,
or
just my whole time on Poshmark. So since
but still,
2013 to now.
that's
Um,
a good little stream of income on the side.
mhm. And then 2016, my mom found my old Polly Pockets and
Oh no, look out.
yes, yes. And then another person you've interviewed, they talked about it. My mom has been very organized. She taught us to take care of our toys, kept everything very clean. So majority of my Polly Pockets were intact. They had all of the pieces, all of the accessories. She was like, "Hey, these are selling. Do you want to list them?" And I was absolutely.
Yeah, I think that was Cassie who is rounding up her old toys from her mom
Mhm.
slowly but surely and all those fun 90s things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of when I started really kind of like working on my mom's account. And then I was looking too, we did a lot of retail arbitrage. We were buying like, the hot Christmas toys, that kind of thing. And then we kind of really started tapering off. I was trying to figure out what was the item that made me break away from retail arbitrage and start like, thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales. And I couldn't find it. eBay wouldn't let me look up the old sales.
Yeah, that it only goes
But
back so far. Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, so kind of moved away from that. It was a lot. Retail arbitrage, you have to find the item. It's easy to list because it's new, but then if it doesn't sell, I was bad. I would return it within the window if it didn't sell. So
Well, I think that's acceptable if you're not returning 20 of them.
mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think stores put limits on that because they're wise to what we're doing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you dabbled in it and you saw that it could work. And it is easy on the front end. The problem is anybody else can go do that. So you have a lot of competition where you might not have that on a pair of 90s Jams World shorts or something, it's
Right.
it's limited in number, you're gonna make more.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that I did that retail arbitrage too. And I got stuck with a lot of things.
And like I've heard you
Yes.
say too,
Yes.
people getting their toy after Christmas, you've heard people say like, oh, they return yours.
Yep.
Mhm.
Returnuary.
Yes,
January is returnuary.
it is.
With that, but it's all about your risk level
Yeah.
and you just got to be careful how much you invest on the front end because you might be stuck with it. You might have to sell it at a loss
Mhm.
or give
Right.
it. I got stuck with coffee. I was doing a lot of groceries and I would go get the Dunkin' Donuts like limited edition, the peppermint and the pumpkin spice and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I overbought. And so everybody else did it too. And so I had something like 25 bags of coffee. So that's what everybody got for Christmas the next year
Oh my
was
gosh.
coffee. So I hear you on that. So Kathy, did you do the retail arbitrage too?
Yeah, we did. We both did. And back in the early days, I would go to Gap and Gap Kids and buy clothes on clearance. And that's when Melanie, she was saying, I remember helping you take pictures. I said, yeah, you're helping me lot the clothes together, what looked good, put the combinations together. And So did really good on like clearance items, and I would just pick up anything that was, on clearance, toys or maybe sometimes clothes. So, but yeah, we both were doing that. We were doing the LOL surprise, ones that were out just a few years ago. So
Yeah.
we were
Cecilia,
doing
my
all that.
10-year-old niece,
Yeah.
she was our trend forecaster. We would
Yes.
ask her, like, what's
Yes.
the hot
I
toy going to be
love
this?
that.
Yes.
Great. So
Gave
you
us a
would,
lot of good tips. Yes. And we
so
ran with it.
Cecilia, you would, you and your friends, whatever was new and hot, whatever you were interested in, um, your aunt and grandma would pay attention to that. I love
Yeah.
info forecaster.
Yeah. She did
Trend
reap the
forecaster.
benefits.
Yeah,
That's
she did.
great. I love that. And so how much money did she make being a trend forecaster?
None.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She got the items. She got the
got
items.
paid in product. Yes.
Yes,
got
yes.
paid in product. So she got something for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
She makes
And I
money
think
now,
that's
though. Yeah,
great.
she makes cash now. She's
Good. So when I was doing toys, my kids were too old to, they were teenagers. So
yeah.
I would go into Walmart or Target and just watch what the other kids were drawn to. And I'd even talk to them. I'm like, oh, I love that. Is that a new hot thing, or has that been around for a while? And I would be like a researcher in the store because I didn't have a young trend forecaster.
Yeah.
Mine were all like, we want money for gas to drive our cars.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing. I'm a dental hygienist, and whenever I would have young patients, I would ask them, what's on your list this for the holiday season? What are you
that's
looking for? What are you
great.
into?
And did you get good information that way?
Typically, sometimes if kids wanted to talk, they would let me know, and then sometimes if they were shy and hesitant. But yeah, we would do that with costumes too. At the time, the Disney store was local at the mall here, and we would just go and get the hot costume too for Halloween.
Yeah. And that's a big thing because they would mark the costumes down after
Yeah.
Halloween. Did you
Yeah.
guys load up and just sell them all year?
Yeah, absolutely. Took advantage of that for sure.
Yeah. So for the listeners, there's a lot of new sellers that listen to this podcast. So I just want to explain that real quick. Halloween sells all year. Those costumes, kids wear them to Disney. They dress up and just play dress up at home. There's like book character day at school. There's all kinds of reasons that are non-Halloween reasons.
Right. Some kids have princess parties. Yeah, princess parties where they dress
Absolutely.
up, Captain Hook, Peter Pan parties, things like that. They have theme
And
parties.
there's
Yeah.
the conventions for the adults. Well, I guess
Yes.
kids can
Yeah.
go like, Comic Con and Dragon Con and all that stuff. And I don't know the age requirement on that if kids do that, but I'm sure there's stuff like that for kids.
Yeah.
So for the listeners, pick up those Halloween costumes all year because they will sell. And you don't really have to know why. I just like to know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really smart. Good for you.
Yeah, costumes are at yard sales too. I mean, really cheap. And that's really when I really started noticing that I could make a lot of money to help for Christmas, because I kind of was just doing, fourth quarter sales, just selling things at that time to kind of build up reserve for Christmas and the holidays and things like that. Thanksgiving, all the food you got to buy. So,
Yeah.
and I realized, costumes were just flying out the door. That's back when auction was the only option. But, so I put my son in the stroller. We'd go to the post office and drop off these, costumes that sold. So that's kind of when I realized costumes are, awesome.
Do
Any
you look
kind of
for
costume sold.
you look for any certain brands or just anything goes?
Mostly anything goes, but Disney is always, you can't go wrong with any of the Disney costumes, even the accessories. Hats can sell for a lot of money. I think I sold a hat for $100, so as a pirate hat,
Yes.
one of the Descendants costumes, and clown costumes. I pick those up all the time. They sell. I mean, they sell every year.
Rubies is a really good brand.
Yes.
Pottery Barn Kids. Pottery Barn
Yes.
Kids.
Pottery
Yes.
Barn, I was going to say that.
Mhm.
Pottery Barn Kids, those are expensive.
Yes.
But they're very well made. They're not going
They
to fall
are.
apart after wearing them twice.
Yeah, if you can get them, if your cost of goods is low, the return is very, very good.
Yeah.
And back to the accessories, I saw something recently on the $100 thread on the group, some kind of like Mickey Mouse ear type thing. It was a headband with some special ears on it, and it was a limited edition thing. It sold for $100
Oh, wow.
for a floppy little plastic thing. You know, it wasn't. It's just crazy what
Yeah.
people pay for that stuff.
Yeah, the Disney culture, like I've heard a lot of other people being interviewed. I don't know a lot about it, but it's amazing what, what fans like the Loungefly backpacks, like you said, the ears, like what people collectors will what they value. It's interesting.
Yeah, and I like that you said Disney culture because there definitely is a culture. Like the popcorn buckets are so collectible.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas ornaments, you know, ticket stubs from years ago, like all that stuff.
Yeah, your recent interview, she sold her lemonade cups, her daughter's the souvenir cups.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody listening, if you have any of that stuff, look around your house, look it up because it could just be like a El Cheapo plastic thing, but like the Run Disney t-shirts and all the things from their special events. And I looked up anything Disney, like you can't go wrong. Well, yeah, sometimes I just buy it without looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause some of the Disney store plush will have like the insignia, they'll have the stamp on them. And like you said too, any Disney, I always look it up, and you can tell when it is. It's very well made when you'll pick it up too.
Yes, absolutely. You can tell the difference. So let's jump over to how do you guys do this 2 hours apart?
Well, we do thrift together. I usually go up to Raleigh in her area because there's plenty of estate sales, good thrift stores. We have good thrift stores here, but we thrift together. And then what we do is we call our listing party where we will, after we thrift, we will take pictures and we have a goal. We'll say, okay, do you want to do 20 or 25 or 30 listings this weekend while I'm, visiting? And we'll do that. We'll list together each other's items. We help each other out with listing our items. And she stores some things at her home and I have some things at my home. So, and then when something sells, I have to put like a label on my things because sometimes we're like, is that your plush or my plush? Or is that, because we do kind of pick up some of the same things, so.
So how does that work with shipping? Are the listings individual? Like it shows shipped from Raleigh or it shows shipped from Jacksonville, or like, how does that work?
Yeah, some of them do. I've noticed that I guess they pick up on her IP address when she's listing. We're listing there, and it does have, it's shipping from Apex, from that area. And I mean, we haven't had any problems with anyone, anything getting late, so it's worked out.
What about the price though? I guess it's not going to be that much different.
No, it's calculated. So
yeah.
So
you list the item and you put you can change the location on the listings though.
Yes.
Okay, so you do that?
Yes.
Okay, so whatever's at your house shows your address, whatever's at your house shows her address. I love that. You're tag teaming. Now, is there a reason you don't have separate stores or separate accounts?
I do have a separate account. And I think, well, she does too. I don't know, we just joined together on this one. It's actually my husband's account. We just kind of hitchhiked his.
Okay.
So he's had the most feedback. So, and it's kind of where we opened a store. I kind of said, hey, can I, what do you think about opening a store? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. So, I mean, he sells too. He sells jet ski items. So yeah, that's his thing. He sells the big items, where he has to create it and ship it, get a shipper and all that. So.
And I'm going to ask this question, but I can edit it out and you don't have to answer it. But
okay.
I'm curious how the money works. Like the money from the sales, does it go into one of y'all's checking account and then you Venmo the other one if it's theirs? Okay.
Yeah, it goes into my account, and then however often she wants to draw, get a draw on the money, then yeah, I send it to her. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are
I'll
you
Venmo
a,
it, or yes, I'll Venmo it, give a cash check, whatever, however she wants payment. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that's
So
how that
you're
works.
the bookkeeper and you know
Yes,
what
yeah.
everything is.
I mean, she'll tally up her own sales and just say, "Hey, mom, I need, my sales are $500. I send her the money." Yeah,
Okay.
or whatever it is.
So do you go by sales or do you go by profit on the item?
Oh, profit. Yes, the
Yeah.
profit.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
That's very,
I mean, we got fees. Yeah, we have fees to pay. So we
I
take
wish I
that.
had somebody do that for me. Like all I have to do is find the stuff and list it, and then they can just send me my
I
money.
know they have to when tax season comes, I have to get all my
Yeah,
information
we're like,
together
get
for them.
everything.
Okay. Okay. And
Yeah.
so, Kathy, do you work outside the home or do you have another job besides eBay?
Yes, I work part-time as a massage therapist. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, I
So the
need to make
summers
a
we get a lot of
plan.
tourists in this area, people coming to visit their military families. So
Yes.
that is really my busy season is the summer. So kind of I do eBay when I can in the summer because it just doesn't, it kind of falls to the wayside a little bit. So
Yes.
sometimes, yeah.
So you're near Camp Lejeune?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
My new husband is a Marine, so I have
Oh,
a lot of information about things that go on there or went on there. My brother's also was a Marine, and I went to Topsail Island a few years
yes.
ago with some friends, and we were out on the beach. Of course, we're seeing the military aircraft fly over,
Mhm.
and it's like, what is all that? I didn't realize how close we were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, I bet with your massage work, you give a lot of relief to people who
Yes.
it's stressful being in the military and being a military spouse. I never had to do,
Right.
I don't think I would have been good at it at all. I
Uh-huh.
I would have just worried all the time, you know?
Yes, it's very
Okay,
stressful. Yeah.
because my husband was MARSOC, which is special ops.
Oh yeah.
He
Uh-huh.
did a lot of dangerous work, running for his life kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's very stressful, PT hours a day to stay in shape. And
Right.
it was hard. And he'd go on a mission and he couldn't say where he was. So I would not have been a good military wife. I would have just worried all the time. So I have a lot of respect for those who are.
Yes, they have to hold down the home front with with the kids and everything, and it's then worry about everything else. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So a lot of respect for all you military folks out there and families. Anyway,
Mhm.
so let's talk about some things you've sold as a dynamic duo slash terrific trio.
Well, you want to start, Melanie?
Sure. I mean, I
Okay.
can talk about my two recent sales. These were both followed eBay the right way protocol.
Yeah.
So we like to do linens and plush. I feel like that's our sweet spot. So I went in probably like the last 20 minutes of an estate sale. So like you said, people don't know everything, and don't count yourself out if you go there late. So I was shopping and I got my lot together. I found a Laura Ashley a king comforter. It looked like brand new. So I grabbed it, and then they tallied me up, and they're like $12 for everything. And I had it listed. I had a lot of watchers. I just kept raising the price, and then it sold for $175.
Nice.
And then recently we were at like one of our favorite thrift stores. Shout out to Dorcas and Carrie, anybody listening who's in North Carolina. And we were looking at the Barbies, and I picked up a Barbie, and I was like, I don't know. She had Mattel on her, but she felt really cheap. And then my mom's like, "Oh, it's $3, just get it." I'm glad I did, because it's crazy. Sometimes you're shopping and you can't find any comps, and then when you get home, you're like, oh, this is. And I had it listed. It's a Barbie from the '80s, but she's chrome. Her body's chrome, and it just feels really like fragile and delicate. But she's a Spectra I need Lewis. I need Lewis the Barbie guy. Style of blue
Yeah.
Barbie. And I had her listed for 50. I had a bunch of watchers. I raised the price to 75 and she sold.
Excellent.
She had like
Yeah.
18 watchers, and I said, she's like, should I raise the price? I said, Suzanne says, raise the price when you got the watchers. We're always quoting you.
Is that something you do routinely on your listings? Raise the price?
Yes, I would say 4 out of 5 times that we have done this. It has worked, definitely.
Great.
Yes, it has been.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me explain that to the listeners. Some people might not understand what that's about.
Right.
If you go to your active listings view on eBay, and I don't know if you can sort it by watchers.
I think you can. I think I've done that before.
You have
Yes.
to have that
Yes.
column. If you don't have that column in there, you have to add it.
Yeah.
So you can sort by watchers, and the ones with a lot of watchers, raise the price, don't lower it,
Mm-hmm.
because you want to create a sense of urgency. And for the buyer, it's like, oh, this, and they do get a notification that the price has changed up or down. But it's, it creates a sense of urgency, like, oh, are they going to raise it again? And watchers don't know how many other watchers there are. So there could be 1, there could be 20.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that is, a little kick in the pants to the watchers to like, buy it, make an offer, do something here. Because when you lower the price, they may wait for you to lower it more. So just for those out there that have never heard that strategy, and it does work. I've seen it work. It's just a nudge to do something.
I noticed too on eBay when I've been shopping, I'll look at an item and eBay's helping us out too, creating that sense of urgency because it says, oh, one person has this in their shopping cart. Like, better get it before somebody else does.
And I wonder about that because a lot of times I'll order on Amazon and they'll be like, hurry, only 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's just marketing. Like that's not real. That's imaginary. They have plenty. If they didn't have any, they'd say currently out of stock, which that is a hint to go find that item and sell it. If Amazon,
But maybe us with our loveys, like, oh, you better get this. Little Timmy might need a backup lovey. So
that's right. Yeah, I sold one the other day, and it was late at night. It was $1. It sold for like 25. And then the next morning, they wanted to cancel because little Bobby found his lovey somewhere, and the mom had panicked and bought it. And I was like, sure, I can cancel, but if this happened once, it might happen again. Don't you want to back up?
Exactly.
She didn't bite though. She's like, no, if I need to know, I'll just go on eBay and find it again. And I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
I hope that happens for you. But yeah, okay. So what else do you have on your list?
Go ahead. I did too.
Well, we love to sell American Girl as well. So we pick up Bitty Baby, anything really American Girl. And I ended up buying off Facebook Marketplace. This lady was selling a trunk and a bunch of clothes, and I the pictures were terrible. I couldn't really see. I could kind of make out a few things in there. So I met up with her and got it. First I asked her, I said, is it American Girl, trunk, wardrobe truck? And she said, no, I don't think so. And I really couldn't tell. And then when I got it, I saw the hardware. I was like, yeah, this is American Girl. So I paid $100 for the whole lot, and the trunk sold for $100. So that paid for everything. And then in that lot was a lot of things from the 90s, when Pleasant Company had owned the company. And I sold a Y2K outfit. It was just beautiful, glittery purple outfit. And that sold for $80. So it's good to pluck out some of the, separate some of the pieces to sell them individually. So it's great. But it was a complete set, which I was shocked. I said, wow, this kid's great. Kept everything. And then I sold, it was a Christmas outfit, like a velour jumpsuit with like a satin shirt, and the shoes were with it. And that sold for 75. And I still have some pieces that I've got to list, from that lot. So yeah, American Girl. I mean, toys. We love toys, plush, linen, baby stuff. It's all fun, good stuff.
Do you have a number one sale of a plush that you remember, like the highest selling that you've ever had?
Yes, I have. We love to pick up Jellycat, and this certain one was a Jellycat plush, and it was like a big, almost like a big pillow, and it was a pink poodle, and we got it for 50 cents. And I just thought, okay, it's going to sell for $50 or something. Well, when I saw, I only had, I think, the only one. I couldn't really find any more, and I saw someone had sold theirs for 100. I was like, let me put 150 on mine. So I did, and it sold for $150. So I was really happy with that. Yeah.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
think that's my highest selling plush so far. So yeah, I would love to find the $300 or $400 things, but I haven't yet.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you said that. I was looking through my old sales update videos last night, looking for something, and I came across a like the cover photo. One was a Eden plush lamb that
Yeah.
it was terribly dirty and awful. I spent a lot of time cleaning that thing up, and it sold for right around 300. And then
Oh,
I had
wow.
it's either Fisher Price or Play School. I think it's Play School. They're called snuzzles. They're like a plaid material, little baby plush. I had found the cow and sold for like 325.
Oh, wow.
How sometimes you beat yourself up like, oh, nothing's selling. It's so slow. And I go back and look at my old records.
Yeah, it gets
Remind
encouraging.
myself, no, there's good stuff out there. It's just keep going. I mean, it's been really slow this month for me. I listed over 100 things last month, and
Wow.
it'll come through. My
Yeah.
future self will thank me on that. But it's just like, gosh, what is the deal? People buy stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know what happens in the thrift too, because you'll go and you're like, where are all the plush? And then all of a sudden, I don't know if they're processing everything, and then they'll come out. We our Goodwill here is hard. I don't like to go to Goodwill here because I call it the
Yeah.
devil's marker. They'll put Sharpie on the consumer tag for the price. It's so frustrating. So we try to, for plush, we go to our local thrift for that.
So, okay, let me say something about Goodwill in North Carolina, because my sister lives in Charlotte, and I visited her a few times, helping her when her husband was ill. And of course, I had to drop by Goodwill here and there, but it was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, they're hard to maneuver. They have these round racks in the middle, and it was like not easy to shop in there. Or maybe it's just the Charlotte stores. And then they don't even give you a bag anymore. You have to bring your own
No, they
bag.
don't. No.
I'm like, come on, really, Goodwill? Or do you really need to pinch pennies like that? All your inventory's free. And now you're not giving us a bag?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, no bags.
Come
Yeah.
on.
They started last year. I went with my friends, and my friend was like, no bags? What are we,
And I'd love to hear from the listeners if that's a thing other places, or if North Carolina is just more progressive and that's what they're doing to save money. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of cheesy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the black marker is on everything. My daughter wanted to get a really beautiful leather coat, so she tried it on, and I said, I can see the price on your back. When she turned around, and it bled through, and I said, they just ruined this coat.
Why
They
do they do
just,
that?
yeah, I don't know. We just stay away from there now. We just
Do they
just go to
not
other
know
places.
that's going to affect their reseller clientele? Like,
Yes,
I'm not buying that. Like, some things you could get it off,
right.
but come on.
Yeah, I know you did one interview. The speaker who had a thrift store, and she said, "Well, I have to put the permanent marker because of
Oh,
theft."
Jane.
Yes.
Yeah, Jane,
Mm-hmm.
who has her own thrift store. Well, I mean,
Yes.
that I can see that, or
But
most of them have the
Yeah.
tags, the
yeah, but
tags with color, and they're attached with those barbs.
yeah, like you said, it's Goodwill. Like, move to bulk pricing.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
I guess they're all just run differently, but those little things affect us as resellers.
They
So what
do.
else? Goodwill's not the only game in town. Where else do y'all go?
Oh. We, I was talking to my mom recently. I kind of want to, treat this more like a business. I was talking to her. I was like, I need to start like a spreadsheet of, what I paid, what I sold it for, where I sourced it, because then we can kind of see like, oh, where do we get our most profitable items?
Yes. Yes.
Is it
I've
estate
done that.
sales?
I
Is it
do
thrift
that.
stores? So, but yeah, we do our local thrift stores, yard sales, love yard sales. I know you're not a yard sale person.
No,
Um,
I guess I'm too lazy. It's a lot of driving around,
it
getting in the
is.
car, and sometimes you don't find much.
It
And
is.
that's it. I'm just
It
lazy.
is. And then estate sales. We have some really good we have really good local estate sale companies in North Carolina, in my area. And then we have Blue Moon too here, which I feel like they're decent because they do bulk pricing too, like, oh, linens are all this price,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What other, do you have any other sales you want to talk about? Like, or stories, customer stories, anything listeners might enjoy?
Yeah, we frequent one of the local estate sale companies here, and then I kind of just became friendly with the owner. We would talk, and then one day I went to one of his sales because he had some American Girl and some Monster High items. I went there for that specifically because on estatesales.net, a lot of the listeners know, but you can see the photos. So I'll kind of plan my route like, oh, okay, I want to go to that stop first for that. And I was there and I was shopping, and he was like, hey, do you want this t-shirt? And I was like, okay. I was like, I want to support him, and so I was like, and I called my mom afterwards. I was like, Mom, he gave me a dirty t-shirt. I was like, I'm not a clothing reseller. And then I told her it was a Grateful Dead t-shirt.
Ooh, yes.
And even my husband knew. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" He's like, "That's money." And then it sold my profit. It sold while I was on maternity leave, and I got unpaid maternity leave, so that was really nice. It sold for $300.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my, that is excellent. So do you remember what it looked like?
Yeah. So it had a golfer on it because I don't know if it was a PGA Tour promotional. That I don't know, but it was like a PGA Tour for Grateful Dead, and yeah. And then he also gave me a fantastic Mr. Fox book to resell. He was like, hey, he knew what I did. He's like, hey, if you want to sell this for me, he's like, I'll never ask, just if it sells, just we'll split the profit. And then I sold that book. Our profit, we split it in half, but I sold it for like $303.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in rough
Yeah.
shape though. Yeah, that book was
Yeah.
in rough shape, but we could have gotten about $700 for it. It was the first edition. Yeah, fantastic, Mr. Fox. But it was funny because we were when we were at one of his estate sales, and we were buying a bunch of stuff. I think we had bought Barbies and Christopher Radko ornaments. We just had a whole lot of stuff. And then he's like, "Oh, are you guys resellers?" And we were like, we were just
Yeah, you don't
kind of
know if that's
nervous.
like, should you
Yeah.
admit it or not?
Yeah.
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 And he's like, look, I don't care. It's, I'm just curious. And then that's kind of how the relationship developed where, he's passing on these gems to Melany to sell when she pops up at his sale. So it's good to, let
It
people
is.
know.
It
So
is. He's kind of talked to me about doing like clean outs after the estate, and I'm not at that capacity yet. I can't I can't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of logistics there.
yeah.
Yes.
Have a vehicle to fit everything in, a place to put it. And then you got to work through everything, which is not a problem. It's just before you volunteer to do that, like
We
get
talked
Exactly.
about
through
it. Yeah.
all
So
the different steps and the logistics. And then you're going to have a lot of leftover stuff that you're going to have to get rid of. Um, that's a lot. I respect people that do that because
Mhm.
it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we went to a Blue Moon estate sale one time, and we were shopping, and I was looking. I think we went there for American Girl again.
Yeah,
But
we
we were
did.
like
Yeah.
we were looking at the plush, and then I come over. My mom's in the linen closet, and then she was like, "Everything in this closet is Ralph Lauren," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So we just started digging through this closet.
Yes.
I don't even know how many pieces we left with. Would you say 15,
I don't
12,
know. I think
20?
we spent $80 on all the things. Yeah, all the things we
It
bought. And
was,
then we went downstairs and found even more.
and Suzanne, some stuff was new in package. It was insane.
Yes.
Well, I have a
Yes.
little secret to share about Blue Moon. It is a franchise estate sale company.
Yes.
It's in several states. And I actually worked for them last summer, 2020.
Oh,
Because I kept going to their sales, and I was like, I could be an asset to these people. I could help them price.
Uh-huh.
I got a lot of stuff that was underpriced. I could be of service in some way, and this would be fun. So I got a job with them, and they start off everybody with staging, and it just hurt my heart. This particular franchise was very boutiquey. It was everything had to be in perfect condition. They did not want anything imperfect at their sales. And I was like, well, I'm not here to change your business. I'm just saying, as a reseller, let me give you the reseller perspective. We will buy dirty quilts. We will buy
Yes.
broken things for parts. I explained all what we do, and no, they're not going to do that. And they literally throw away anything imperfect. Quilts. This one lady had probably 12 quilts. This
Oh my
one
gosh.
stain, this one had a little tear. They went into the trash. And I was like, well, can I take that? They would not let me take it. They would not let me buy it. Their motto was, we're just going to throw it away if it doesn't meet our standards. And I was just, I only did that job for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And then their pricing strategy was, like you said, all linens, $3 a piece, all whatever, $5. And I'm like, they had some expensive stuff, brand new in the package. And I'm like, I know this goes for $200. Why don't you put 50 on it? And then on the last day, if it's still there, you can mark it down. No, we don't. We have a system. We don't do that. So I was trying to help them make more money for the client. And then they had these mahjong sets, and I actually bought those. But they were underpriced, they were beat up, and I ended up parting out the pieces and selling them on Facebook Marketplace. It's very heavy to ship. But I sold like the tiles by themselves and all that stuff. So this is for the listeners as well. Don't think they're looking at every single item, because they're not. These companies, especially these franchises, have a business model just like a McDonald's. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to price it. Here's how this works. And they don't sit there and look things up. So
Right.
I just became a customer again.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because listeners in North Carolina, the Triangle specifically where I live, we have Blue Moon. Like, there's 2 Blue Moon franchises, and even just the difference between the two, like you said, one is very boutiquey, one is very like they'll price their items really high, and it's kind of like I'll see them on estate sales on that, and I'm like, oh, if it's Blue Moon of Orange County, I was like, I'm not going to go to theirs first, because they're a little bit, I don't want to say unreasonable, but they're a little bit more than what I'm willing to pay the first day.
Yeah. And I think that was the universe just saying, hey, Suzanne, stay in your lane. You don't need to go helping everybody all the time. Help the sellers online with podcasts and videos and stuff, but just
Well,
I've
always been curious of which company you worked for. I was like, I wonder if she worked for
you
Blue
were.
Moon.
You talked about that. Yeah, we're like, which company?
It was Blue Moon. And as a matter of fact, a few months later, that particular franchise was no more. They closed it down and didn't do it anymore. And I'm just like, well, yeah, you could have done a lot of things different. I was just thinking, for the client, make as much money as you can for the client, at least on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can regroup. But so even if you're out there and you're like, oh, I need to have an estate sale and hire somebody, please check into their pricing strategy, because that's the reason you have an estate sale, is to get the most money for your items. And, of course, you're going to have to pay them. They're doing a service. But yeah, it was very enlightening.
Yeah, we do like to try all the estate sales, and then we kind of lean towards, what's sort of what we're looking for, or how we like them, to be run. So yeah, so we've tried quite a few different ones, and we're not afraid to try anything new or check out a new thrift store. So yeah.
Do you have Salvation Army up there?
We do. They just don't really have a whole lot. At least the ones around my area. Have we gone to Raleigh?
I'm
I
just,
just,
I don't know. I don't
I
know if
think we may
there's
have
one.
tried them. Yeah.
We have to add that to the rotation.
What
Yeah.
about St. Vincent's?
We
St.
don't.
No,
mm,
we don't have
no.
that.
You know,
No.
I think there was one when I lived in Georgia. There was one near me, and we're planning a road trip to St. Louis next week.
Oh,
Hit some Goodwill outlets and do like a loop, spend the night, you know, make
oh,
a trip because it's an hour away, like an hour, big deal. But no, we're gonna make it a trip because we want to.
yeah.
But and there's a whole bunch of them, like within a 10-mile radius of the St. Vinny's. And I hear these other sellers talk about
I do
it.
too. Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, like, is that going to be good? Are the prices going to be good? What are they going to have? It's fun to go on an adventure and go new places.
It is. Talking about adventure, the kids, for my birthday, we all got together and went to Savannah and we did a thrifting adventure. So
Oh,
the kids
good. Did you find good stuff?
it was so fun. We went to the bins and we did a food tour in a Savannah, and we went because I think it was my first time going to the bins, and so yeah, we just all had a great time. All my kids love to thrift, so I have 3 kids, and we all had a good time. And I thought that was the sweetest gift.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
great. I'm glad that your kids are into it. It's such a money saver. And my son just moved into a new apartment. He's 28, and I went to Atlanta and visited him for his birthday. And he was showing me all his stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, I got this at Goodwill. I got this at Goodwill." And um, it's nice. It's very trendy.
Yeah.
Colors. Like, good for you. You saved that money, boy. Don't go paying full price for stuff.
Yeah, but
Goodwill's full of treasures.
yeah, I have a 2-year-old. A majority of her clothes, everything I've gotten it secondhand.
Good.
Yeah, thankfully I got a couple of years before I had her. I found on my local next door, somebody was giving away a Pottery Barn kids kitchen playset for free. I've gotten a
Oh my
free crib
gosh.
off of there too. So yeah,
Well,
it
and
helped.
you're in a generation where this is normal. And there's
Yes.
so
Yes.
many thrift stores. When my kids were little, they're 28 and 30 now. We just didn't have all these thrift stores.
No, we didn't. No.
And if you did go to one, it was not much in it. And now that industry is grown. Like, you can save so much money if you just are patient and look for what you need. You will find it.
It is. It's so
Yeah.
frustrating when you're shopping retail. It's like you're like, I know if I wait, I'll find this. And
I know I can't pay retail for anything.
no. Is it too much to ask to go to a yard sale where somebody is my same size, clothes, shoes, has my style, and is selling their stuff for a reasonable price?
Just put that out into the universe. I do that all the time. I'm like, I really like to find this. And eventually it shows up.
It
You know?
does. Yeah.
You can do that. So we're getting to the end here. And Cecilia, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. But I wanted to ask our trend forecaster if you have any tips for people buying toys. What are you into? What do you like?
At the moment, I'm into skincare, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Skincare. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cecilia, what are some TikTok terms coming out? I heard coquette recently, but I feel like that may be old, but that's like very feminine, bows. What phrases come out on TikTok?
So basically on Shein, there's a lot, but there's some good products on there. I got this really cute bow for my hair once. It was really cute. I would recommend like color changing anything. That's
Okay.
a really big thing.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
like hair stuff, or what kind of
Or like skin type. Or you could do if you have anything close to Sol de Janeiro, even the bottles, it could sell for a lot. Like
and
it
what was
was
that
limited
item called
edition.
again?
Sol de Janeiro.
Can you spell
Sol,
that?
Sol de Janeiro. Like
Sol
Sol.
de Janeiro.
Yeah.
It's Sol de Janeiro.
Okay.
I think it's Brazilian.
Okay. What about fashion, clothing, shoes? Anything?
Clothing, I recommend a lot of flares for leggings That's what I really like. For shirts, crop tops,
Any sort of aesthetic, any sort of style that pops up a lot on TikTok?
Y2K, and like softy.
Softy?
Yeah, like clean girl and like soft.
Okay, clean girl. Okay, well, you said crop tops. We used to call them belly shirts.
Yeah.
Belly shirts, yeah. That's what when you're a mom, you're not wearing that belly shirt. Go put on a red shirt. Okay, ladies. Well, we've made it to the end. Thank you so much for all your great information. Did you want to answer one of the questions at the end about books or podcasts or anything? If you don't want to, that's fine.
Sure, I can.
Okay.
So one of my favorite podcasts, it's a wellness podcast. It's called the Liz Moody podcast. She's a journalist, but she'll have like these interviews. There's one recently about manifesting. The speaker was a little dry, but maybe we can like manifest those $100 plush if we kind of follow those tips.
Absolutely. Or manifest those things you want to find at Goodwill to show up.
There's one really good episode about work-life balance. That one's really, really good. But she's a very good interviewer. Like they're all really, really informative podcasts.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thanks again. And I'm really impressed with how you run your store, even though you're 2 hours apart.
Yeah.
You've really accomplished something there. So for the listeners, it can be done.
Yes, we love eBay. We love doing it together. It's fun. It's
That's
a lot
great.
of fun.
Yeah. I have just a short tip.
Yeah.
Something that helps. I don't know if it's necessarily eBay the right way, but how I ship bedding, I will take a contractor's garbage bag and I'll turn it into a vacuum seal bag. So I'll take the bedding, I'll fold it up as small as I can. I'll get my shop vac and I will vacuum it down to the smallest size I can get. Sometimes I've been able to get a comforter into a medium or a large flat rate box with that. Or sometimes I'll just fold that contractor bag up and make it look like a nice poly bag. And I will ship it that way. And then a cocktail to help get stains out. It's powdered Tide, OxyClean, and borax. Soak items in that, and that works really well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those tips. Great. Okay, ladies. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on the group.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, on to today's trivia question, which is more of a did you know question. We mentioned the Play School Snuzzles plush, and I wanted to give you an update on the market value and suggest that you look these up to see what they look like. This item is in my 2021 BOLO book on page 137, and it's the cover image on my sales update video from June of 2021. So you can go to my YouTube channel and go to the sales update playlist and scroll down to see that. You can also Google Play School Blankies, Blankies, Snuzzles, Snuzzles, to see what they look like. They're little plaid plush. There's several different animals, a cow, an elephant, I think a lamb, a cat. There's a bunch of different ones. The market value on these is still $100 to $200, and they are small, maybe 6 inches. So one tip about digging for plush. The small ones, which can be quite valuable, especially if they're vintage, such as Play School, Fisher Price, Eden Plush, often fall to the bottom of the bins or the racks or wherever the plush is all piled up. So if you're short like me and have sad little T-Rex arms that are not long, bring one of those grabber things on a stick with the pinchers at the end to help you dig to the bottom. Or if you forget, you can go to the kitchen section and find a pair of long grilling tongs while you're in the store to use as a tool to help you get to the very bottom, get those big plush out of the way, and see what's down there, because there's definitely gold at the bottom of those plush bins, racks, tubs, whatever the thrift store is putting them in. So that is your thrifting tip of this episode. Next week, my guest is Jennifer in Los Angeles, and she has some sensational sales and fascinating stories to share. So make sure you tune in for that episode. I hope everybody has a safe and fun 4th of July. I will be enjoying it inside in the air conditioning. Happy selling, everybody. Talk to you next week.